We see here in the first page, I start to see here Samson here as a young boy and his parents. It says here, for 40 years, the children of Israel were ruled by the Philistines. Yes, Philistines, their enemies, not their friends. All right. During this time, an angel of God appeared to Manoah, an Israelite man, and told him that he was going to have a son. This son would deliver the Israelites from the Philistines. He was to be brought up as a Nazarite, set apart to serve God, someone who was apart from others. And it is a sign here that as his life belonged to God, he was to be set apart, and he should never have his hair cut nor his beard shaved. Manoah's son was born and was called Samson. And that's who we see here, right? And so as he grows up, I already see that he's now a man here. What has happened? Well, when Samson was a young man, on this page it says he wanted to marry a girl from the Philistines. The people that were ruling over them, they were enemies of Israel. We have to be reminded of that. He persuaded his parents to go to Timnath, where she lived, to ask for the girl for his wife. On the way there, so his parents complied, Samson heard a lion in a vineyard roaring at him. Samson was so strong, he killed the lion with his bare hands. And that's what we see here. He's killing that poor lion. As that lion might be a sign here that he's not doing the right thing. Again, these are enemies of Israel, not of God's people. He wants to marry someone from there. Not a good road to be on. And there is a line here to remind him. Well, the wedding was arranged. And when Samson was returning to Timnath for the feast, he went to see what had happened to the dead lion. As if no one were to take care of that mess. I mean, it's still kind of fresh. And maybe out there where, again, is a wilderness, only he would, and strong men like him would be around. Well, so there's that poor lion here still where he had left him. And a swarm of bees had settled in the lion's body. Samson took some of the honey they had made. So there's honey now inside of the lion because the bees decided to make their hive there. And so there he is on this page with his bare hands eating that honey with no problem, no hardship at all, because that's how strong he is. And he's really enjoying that honey. Well, after that, it says here the wedding feast that he had for himself, right? He is now here. He is celebrating his marriage. It had lasted for 7 days. Now, Samson told a riddle to the young Philistine men there, and he said, with his bright ideas here and wittiness and just wanting to liven up the party, he said, if you can answer this riddle, I will give you presents. But if you can't, you will have to pay me. So there will be a consequence or a punishment here for not getting the riddle right. And that's what kind of, ticked them here, these Philistine people here. And they really felt like they needed to get the riddle right? So I can imagine. Well, this was the riddle. Out of the eater there came meat, and out of the strong there came forth sweetness. So, of course, this must be about the lion that he came across again and then had honey inside of it. Well, people had no idea about this, and so let's see what they do. Well, none of the young men could answer the riddle. Nope. They said secretly to Samson's new bride, right over here, you must find out the answer and tell us. If you don't, we will burn you in your father's house. Wow, what a bargain here. Or a threat, really, because it was to scare her. I don't know if she hesitated. She probably did not. But again, it was told that she would get hurt here. Well, the bride said to Samson, you don't love me, or you would have told me about this riddle which you have asked of my people. Again, she puts her people in front of now her new marriage, and it's like she's not taking it seriously. Maybe she doesn't care for Samson clearly, and she's just thinking about her own gain maybe, and not really about being hurt, because she doesn't really believe that her own people would do this. Again, she's backing up her own people. Then again, maybe she's operating in fear. But we know that this is not a godly way to respond, especially to someone you are married to. Well, Samson said, I haven't even told my father and mother. But his bride would not let him rest. She went on begging for the answer. At last, Samson told her, and she told the young men, right? So nobody knows except for her. at this time. Well, the young men said, Samson, we can answer your riddle. What is sweeter than honey and what is stronger than a lion? Samson was very angry. He said, my bride has told you the answer, and that's him being upset at his bride right now. You told them the answer. I can't believe this. This is what's happening. Well, then he left his bride in Timnath and went back to his own father's house. Yes, he did. He went back. Well, after a time, Samson did go back to Timnath for his bride because he is still married to her. But her father said, you went away and left her. Now I have given her as a wife to someone else. This made Samson so angry that he set fire to the Philistines' fields and to their vines and olive trees, as you could see here. He, with his bare hands again, probably had the power to just do like a wildfire here in their property. And so this made Samson so angry, right? And they came to Judea for their revenge. The Israelites said to Samson, why did you set fire to their fields when you know that they rule over us? Samson said, all I did was to pay them back for what they had done to me. Don't kill me. So he was begging his dad here. And also the Philistines here, or the Israelites, that is, please don't hurt me. I mean, this is the reason why, but that didn't hold up for them. Because see, what had happened was, now, the Israelites did not kill him, but they bound him and handed him over to the Philistines. And you'll see that here, there, because they didn't want to get hurt, the rest of the people. Samson was strong here, and he can possibly stand up for himself, and God will be with him, and things can get better from here, even though things are really not good. Well, Samson was so strong that without difficulty he broke the ropes that bound him, as if they were only burnt threads. Then he picked up the jawbone of like a small donkey here, or a donkey, starting with a word that starts with an A, and killed a great number of his enemies. Yes, he did. He killed them. He was so upset. He did not like what was happening. This was unfair to him.